Chapter 1: The Nature and Importance of Leadership by Brooke Stanley. Chapter 1 learning objectives include explaining the meaning of leadership and how it differs from management, describing how leadership influences organizational performance, pinpointing several important leadership roles, identifying the major satisfactions and frustrations associated with the leadership role, describing a framework for understanding leadership, recognizing how leadership skills are developed, and pinpointing several traits, behaviors, and attitudes of a successful follower. Leadership is the ability to inspire confidence and support among the people who are needed to achieve organizational goals. Leadership effectiveness refers to attaining desirable outcomes such as productivity, quality, and satisfaction in a given situation. Some leadership process elements include leader, group members, and the context of the situation. The highest level executives of an organization make the same assumptions. A frequent antidote to major organizational problems is to replace the leader in the hope that the newly appointed leader will reverse performance problems. Several important leadership roles include the following. Closely knit teams of highly trained individuals are when members of a cohesive, highly trained group are focused on a goal they may require almost no leadership to accomplish their task. Intrinsic satisfaction are employees who are engaged in work they find strongly self-motivating or intrinsically satisfying. They require a minimum of leadership. Part of the reason is that the task itself grabs the worker's attention and energy. The worker may require little leadership as long as the task is proceeding smoothly. Some companies today use computer-aided monitoring and computer networking to take over many of the supervisor's leadership functions. The computer provides productivity and quality data, and directions for certain tasks are entered into the information system. From a positive perspective, the information technology can provide workers at all levels with useful performance feedback, enabling them to guide their own productivity. Professional norms are workers who incorporate strong professional norms. They often require a minimum of supervision and leadership. A group of certified professional accountants may not need visionary leadership to inspire them to do an honest job of auditing the books of a client. Leadership is a partnership between leaders and group members. Leadership often shifts depending on the expertise needed as most relevant at the moment. It involves sharing of leadership responsibility. The power between leaders and group members is approximately balanced, meaning this partnership occurs when control shifts away from authoritarianism towards shared decision-making. What this means is that the most senior individual on a work team is not always the leader based on seniority. Factors necessary for a valid partnership and shared responsibility include exchange of purpose, a right to say no, joint accountability, and absolute honesty. The leadership role within a team is seldom the responsibility of only one person. Leadership may shift depending on whose expertise is the most relevant at the moment. Leadership is a relationship between the leader and the people being led. According to Ken Blanchard, leadership isn't something you do to people, it's something you do with them. The following adjectives and verbs contrast the differences between leaders and managers. Some of the key traits I'd like to point out are proactive versus reactive, breaking versus making rules, achievement versus results, and many others. One of the most vital differences between the two occurs in the area of credit and blame. There is an interesting quote from Arnold H. Glasgow that I believe defines the difference between the two. He states, "A good leader takes a little more than his share of the blame, a little less than his share of the credit." This is a fundamental difference between the two. Leaders understand that when the team fails, he or she takes personal responsibility for the failures, and when the team succeeds, he or she knows that without the team, the success would not have occurred. A manager is apt to point fingers and find fault when there is a failure and is quickly to take a credit when the team succeeds. Research shows leadership matters when leader is perceived to be responsible and is inspirational. Leaders throughout the organization are involved in making decisions, and these individuals are knowledgeable about the problem to be resolved. Leaders change, company performance changes. Statistical analysis suggests the leader might be responsible for between 15 and 45% of a firm's performance. Study findings have shown the leader's activities have a 66% probability of achieving a positive outcome in an organization's performance. Arguments against the importance of leadership include factors in the work environment that provide guidance and incentives to perform make the leader's roles unessential. Leaders can be irrelevant. People lead themselves and outside influences can overwhelm them. Factors outside the leader's control have a larger impact on a business outcome than do leadership actions. Organizational systems are far too complex to attribute success to leadership. Forces outside the leader's control determine a company's fate. Mitzberg came up with 10 leadership roles, including the following. A figurehead performs social and legal duties such as greeting visitors, signing legal documents, attending ribbon-cutting ceremonies, and hosting receptions. A spokesperson passes on memos, reports, and informational materials. They participate in conferences and meetings to report progress. A negotiator defends business interests by participating in and direct negotiations within the organization. A coach and motivator recognizes team members' achievements, provides feedback to team members, ensures that members are informed of ways to improve their performance, and implementing rewards and punishments to encourage good performance. A team builder ensures that team members are recognized for their accomplishments through letters of appreciation. They initiate activities that contribute to group morale and hold periodic staff meetings to encourage members to talk about their accomplishments, problems, and concerns. A team player displays appropriate personal conduct, incooperative with other units in the organization, and displays loyalty to superiors by supporting their plans and decisions. A technical problem solver performs individual contributor tasks on a regular basis, such as making sales calls or repairing machinery. An entrepreneur reads trade publications and professional journals to keep up with what is happening in the industry and profession. They talk with a strategic planner, and they set a vision and direction for the organization and provide innovative ideas to pursue. They help the firm deal with the external environment and to develop organizational policies. An executor translates strategy into action, such as helping develop action plans. They hold people accountable to ensure that productive work is accomplished. The types of satisfactions that you might obtain from being a formal leader depend on your particular leadership position. Leaders often experience 7 sources of satisfaction, including a feeling of power and prestige, a chance to help others grow and develop, a high income, respect and status, good opportunities for advancement, a feeling of being in on things, and an opportunity to control money and other resources. About 1 out of 10 people in the workforce are classified as a supervisor, administrator, or manager. Not every one of these people are a true leader, yet the problems these people experience often stem from the leadership portions of their job. Many individual contributors refuse to accept a leadership role because of the frustrations they have seen leaders endure. These frustrations include the following: too much uncompensated overtime, too many headaches, facing a perform or perish mentality, not enough authority to carry out responsibility, loneliness, too many problems involving people, too much organizational politics, the pursuit of conflicting goals, being perceived as unethical, especially if you are in a corporate executive, and job fatigue and burnout. Whether or not a leader is effective depends on 4 sets of variables: leader characteristics and traits, leader behavior and style, group member characteristics, and internal and external environment. Studying the textbook assists with developing your personal leadership skills through the following elements: conceptual information and behavioral guidelines, conceptual information demonstrated by examples and brief descriptions of leaders in action, experiential exercises, feedback on skill utilization or performance from others, and practice in natural settings. To be an effective leader, one needs good followers. Leaders cannot exist without followers. Followers differ in their individual engagement approach to being a group member. Some key aspects of effective group members are the types of followers, the personal characteristics of productive followers, and the importance of collaboration between leaders and followers. There are 5 types of followers that were discussed throughout Chapter 1. They include isolates, bystanders, participants, activists, and diehards. Isolates care little for their leaders and do not particularly respond to them. Some characteristics of an isolate are: they are completely detached, they do what they have to in order to get by, and that's all. They are alienated from the system, the group, the organization. They are silent and ignored. By default, they strengthen leaders who have the upper hand. Bystanders disengage from the organization, watching from the sidelines almost as an observer. They go along passively, but they offer active support. Some characteristics of a bystander include: they observe, but they do not participate. They make deliberate decisions to stand aside and disengage from leaders in this group dynamic. Their withdrawal is a declaration of neutrality that amounts to support for whoever. They do nothing even when doing something is not especially costly or especially risky. They're free riders, content to let others make the group's decisions, and they do the group's work. Participants care about the organization and try to make an impact. If they agree with the leader, they will support them. If they disagree, they will oppose them. Some characteristics of participants are: they are some way engaged. They either clearly favor their leader in groups and organization, or they are clearly opposed of them. They invest their engagement to try to have an impact on leaders who want followers, who are participants, assuming they are in support and not in opposition. Activists feel more strongly about their organizations and care about their leaders, good and bad. They care about each other and the whole of which they are a part of. Some characteristics of an activist are: they feel strongly about their leaders and act accordingly. They are eager, energetic, and engaged. They work hard either on behalf of their leader or to undermine and unseat them. They are either a major resource or a major bane, and they care. The last type of follower discussed in Chapter 1 are diehards. They are passionate about an idea, a person, or both, and will give all for them. When they consider something worthy, they become dedicated. Some characteristics of diehards are: they are prepared to die if necessary for their cause, whether an individual, an idea, or both. They are deeply devoted to their leaders or are ready for them positions of power and authority. They are defined by their dedication. They are very rare, and there are only so many followers that are willing to play that part. I chose Chapter 1 because I believe that it is important for everyone to understand what leadership entails and how important it is to stand behind a good leader. Ultimately, the goal of each of us in this program is to one day move into management level positions, and having a firm understanding of what leadership is about helps us to begin with a strong foundation on which to build our future careers. In addition, I think it is important to know how leadership impacts a business, not only in the areas of human resource management, but in overall productivity of the company. It has been clearly demonstrated how a good, strong leader can change the course of a company and increase their profit margins while maintaining a positive work environment for the employees. When I look at companies such as Google, where employees are given creative freedom because of the trust that their leaders place in them, or when I see how someone like Steve Jobs completely turned around Apple, I know that good leaders truly make a difference.